for saying so.
No, we met last year when I was doing the Ever Scooby interview.
Yes.
And how has your role differed in any way from the regular character that you play in this one? Because you're dealing with Bobby Flay and with food and...
Well, Daphne's pretty solidly Daphne in this one. I have to say, over the years that I've been playing Daphne, I think she's gotten more and more progressively sarcastic because just a little bit of gray has seeped in there. But yeah, she started out a little more innocent than I've played her. But it's been 20 years of me, putting myself into it. But and then there have been so many other, like when she kind of was kind of wacky in the Be Cool Scooby-Doo with the beard and the puppet, and I Love Mr. Incorporated. She was a little more irreverent and kind of sassy in that one, like kind of jealous of Freddie with the girls, and I don't know. She's definitely ridden the roller coaster.
She has.
Yeah.
So how exciting was it to be the gourmet ghost? What was this like?
I can't believe it's taken this long for there to be a celebrity chef Scooby thing, because they eat, that's all they want to do. So, and I'm a huge fan of celebrity chefs. Like, I watch The Chef's Table and like all those, Food Network stuff. I got to be on Cupcake Wars, and I was like, oh my God, I'm so excited. Yeah, we did a Scooby Cupcake Wars.
I did not know.
You got to look it up online, because I look really good because you can only see me from here. I ate so many of those cupcakes. I didn't realize we were supposed to like time it out, like like a little bite, to taste it. I was like, I was like, because they were really small, and then Kate Lucucci was with me, she's like this little teeny little, and she's just like, and then I was like, oh, I don't have any more cupcakes left, because they're like, we need to shoot the plate, and so they're like, can we just put Kate's cupcakes in front of Grace so it seems like, and I'm like, oh my God, I need like stunt cupcakes. This is so sad, but it was great. It was great. It was great doing that because I love Food Network. So yeah, no, in Vegas, I love Vegas, but I love it just as much for the celebrity chef restaurants as I do for like, the little slot machine stuff. So, yeah.
Did you get to work directly with them?
No.
No.
And I was like so excited I was going to get to meet Bobby Flay this week, and my son almost came too because he's a big Food Network fan too. He's only 11, but he loves those cooking shows. And he was like, I might actually come to Comic-Con, because he was done with Comic-Con because he was like, oh, it's like so hot and sweaty, you can't walk anywhere, and he just hated it. I know, to be 11 and already over it.
Oh my God.
He goes to the little local cons with me, which are so much more, it's very airy, and there's like a nice dressing room, and it's much more chill, and he interviews people for his YouTube channel and whatever. But this one he never wanted to go to again, but he almost came because he thought he was going to be able to meet Bobby Flay, but I called him, I was like, he's not here.
Very excited too.
I know.
And I was so sad.
I know. I love his Mesa restaurant in Vegas too. It's very good Tex-Mex. My grandma is Mexican from Texas, so I grew up on all those things like migas and all that stuff. So.
Mole.
Yes.
Sorry, we discovered a new restaurant in San Diego that does authentic mole from Mexico City, and it's incredible.
Oh my goodness.
57 ingredients, I think.
Oh, chocolate being the most important. I like the green mole too.
I love, and the red mole.
Yes.
And they have a white mole too with pecan.
I've never tried
I
that.
know, it's crazy. And
I
then
feel
when you
like
come in,
this is a very appropriate conversation.
it is. Sorry, I get way too excited about food. I'm like, oh, let's talk about food.
My friend who's a really good cook, every time she makes like a really naughty recipe, she's like, have you had blah? And I'm like, I don't know. And then she's like, okay, you take. And I'm like, oh, if you're starting with you take, it's like, it's gonna be good. You take a stick of butter.
Everything's better with a stick of butter.
I know.
Do you cook?
I do, but I was saying that I make chicken and dumplings, and I make some Mexican dishes, and but it's mostly like 50s, 60s, like I love casseroles and crock pot stuff.
Do you do the Jello mold thing?
I can do that. It's green salad. I put it's cottage cheese, a canned pineapple, and green Jello, and it's very delicious. It's delicious. It's like, would you like a green salad? And my LA on-camera girlfriends are like, sure, I'll have a green salad. And then I come with this. Like, I'm gluten-free. It's like, there's no gluten. Eat it. You can't hide behind your food allergies.
That's funny.
What would you want Bobby to cook for? Or Giada?
Oh my goodness. Well, Giada, I love like a really amazing marinara, and I love burrata, like maybe like a burrata salad, like with maybe some like nectarines or something seasonal. She's so good with those. And then Bobby, I might have him make me migas, make me like a traditional Tex-Mex, even though I know that's not like his main thing, but yeah, that would be good. Like make me a nice migas. I can make migas casserole, which is really, I can turn anything into a casserole. Yeah.
Casseroles can be pretty amazing.
Yes, yes.
Easy too. It's just done.
Yeah, I fry up that you tear up the corn tortilla and fry it up, and then you lay it on the very bottom, and then you put cheese, and then you do egg, and then more tortilla that's torn up that's been fried a little bit, and then more cheese, and then I put then you serve it with verde sauce, and it's really good. Cheese. People who don't eat cheese.
I don't
I want to
understand
go.
that.
Why don't you just kill
They're
me now?
not human, you know.
I'm not living.
That's lactose intolerance.
Oh yeah, I know. But Kaz, yeah, because my friends like, trust me, you do not want me to eat cheese.
It's like, here, have lactate.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Yes.
It's a lifesaver.
I do a cheese party every year because I'm a cheese feed, and we have a table for like the non-dairy weird cheese things.
Yes.
They're not cheese. I'm sorry.
Yes, I know.
Can't do
It's like
cheese with no
cashews
dairy.
and stuff. I know.
It's,
Yeah.
and it's a friend tried sneaking one in because he was trying to prove a point. He didn't.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, he wanted to see. Yeah, I love Cotswold cheese. I love Cotswold cheese, and I love it. There's also at Trader Joe's. There's a cheese called Unexpected Cheddar, and it's it's delicious. It tastes kind of like Toscano a little bit, but mixed with like a really sharp white cheddar, and it is. And I always do the same joke every time because it's called Unexpected Cheddar. So I always take a bite and go, that was unexpected. It's just. I have
Have
fun.
you ever tried the truffle cheese at Trader Joe's?
Yes. I make a grilled cheese with that.
I never
So
done
good. Yes, I've done
Well,
that.
he's the cook. He's my husband. So
Oh, if you do the unexpected makes a great grilled cheese sandwich too, and I put a little bit of fig jam in it, so it's like a really, really super sharp white cheddar with the fig jam and on a sourdough. Very good. Bobby, where are you? Yes, I love it. Yeah, that's how I find restaurants when I go to a new town. I just go to Yelp and punch in foodie, and
and it comes up.
Yeah.
I love Yelp.
Yes, me too. I try not to do bad Yelp reviews unless someone's just terrible, but I just won't review at all. But if something's good, I definitely.
Yeah, I'm the same way.
Have you tried any places in San Diego that you're under again?
Oh gosh. Well, I always go to. Well, I mean, it's kind of pedestrian, but it's the Water Grill is really good. Like just for nice, like have you been?
Yeah, we've been once.
They're making one in Vegas. They're making the Spago that was in Caesar's Palace into a Water Grill.
For real?
Yeah, and I was kind of
The
sad because I
Spago was
really
good.
love their marinara.
Yes.
Yeah, I know. But
It
yeah.
wasn't too sweet.
Yeah,
hate sweet
I don't
marinara.
like sweet marinara either. I like you. But I liked it. A seersucker is pretty good. Yeah.
Seersucker's delicious.
Yes. Gosh, what is it? It's because it's so hard at a con that you're just like it's like you're just going. Where is there no line? I just want to eat now. I do like leave town to go eat places a lot too. There's also a place across from the Pendry that makes really good breakfast type things. It's sort of like a Mediterranean mixture. I can't remember what the name of it is, but anyway. But yeah, there's plenty of good stuff to eat.
Well, if you ever come down to San Diego just to enjoy it,
Yes.
and you want to know good restaurants,
Yes.
contact me.
Little Italy has some really
Yes,
good stuff
Little
too.
Italy has amazing
Where do you
places.
go in Little Italy?
There's a few different ones. Believe it or not, Mona Lisa
Okay.
is really good. You walk in and it's so not fancy,
Yes.
but it's good home grandmother Italian food.
Oh, good.
And the plate comes out and they just give you bread on top of pasta. It's carb fest.
Yes.
But the marinara is on point.
Oh,
And
good.
they make an amazing caprese too.
Oh, I love caprese. I love that. And I just came back from Paris, and so I was like, and I ate and ate and ate. I had chocolate croissant every morning, just like and foie gras, and just like, and I was like, I'm gonna do Comic-Con in like 4 days. I can't eat until then. But it's almost over, so as soon as I get out, I'm like, yeah, I've been very good for 4 days.
So I had a question about Daphne over the years. When we look at the Me Too movement and we look at how feminism has expanded and changed over the years, do you feel the writers are bringing that into the character? And then are you able to bring it in yourself if the writers are not? And do you want to?
They do a great job of doing that. I felt like Daphne's become way more than just the fashionable arm piece.
Right.
She's and not the bait all the time anymore.
Yeah.
And she's really standing up to Freddie and like really being her own person and kind of making fun of him a lot. But there have been times where the writers have, and I was like, well, maybe we could change it. And they're always like, oh my God, of course. You know what I mean? But it's hard to catch up. You know, sometimes I say things where I'm like, oh wait, that's terrible. Don't say that. You know, it's just,
I do that.
you know, just, or oh my gosh, I just got interviewed for something where they were saying, how do they make the cartoon? And I was like, well, first the creator does this, and then he, you know, puts his, you know, and they're like, can we change it to like they put their? And I'm like, of course we can. Oh my gosh, I feel so awful. But then again, I only know like 2 female show creators, so it's, and that's sad. More and more, I mean, actually, like in this last 2 years, it's exploded. But you know, even exploding is knowing too. Darren Nipsey. But yeah, but also. Well, yeah. So Daphne's come into her own, but also I got to play the redhead. Speaking of redheads, I got to play the redheaded pirate, the pirate wench who is no longer, you know, being sold into slavery on the Pirates of the Caribbean. So I'm the voice of Red.
You are?
Yes, yes. She talks like this. She's got kind of a pirate voice. They want the rum, don't they, boys? Yo ho ho. Anyway, that's why I'm like, my grandchildren or great grandchildren maybe, they keep those around for a long time. We're gonna go on that ride and go, that was my great grandmother. Oh my God, I just couldn't believe it. And but the amazing thing is, I have an 11-year-old son, and he's like super social justice warrior, and he's always correcting me on things, and I'm like, yes, of course. I was like, yes, I'm sorry, I'm older. You have to give me a minute to, you know. But when we were on we had just gone to Portland to do a convention, and we went to the Shanghai tunnels where they have, like, you know, a lot of human trafficking stories, and he learned all about human trafficking. He was like, oh my God, that's horrible. And yeah, the Shanghai tunnels, I don't know if you know, but like they would like kidnap people that, if people got too drunk, like men in bars, they would like open up a trapdoor, they would fall through and land on a mattress, and they would keep them prisoner down there to sell to ship captains, and they would have to work their way off. They would go to Shanghai and work their way, you know, for free, and they would say, if you don't, you know, if you're good, we'll drop you back off in Portland when we're done, but you have to work for us for a year for free.
Oh my
so,
God,
oh my gosh, it's fascinating. They have this big pit full of old 1800s, put it all around, and so if they try to escape, there would be footprints, you know, yeah, that they would have to find. It was like, I was thinking, is this okay for a 10-year-old boy? But he was very like intrigued by it. So we're on Pirates of the Caribbean, and he sees it. He's like, is that human trafficking? Like, what's going on with the ladies? Are they being sold? The ladies? And I'm like, yeah, kind of. You know, he was like, you can't do that. It's Disneyland. They've got to fix that. And so I said, well, yeah. I said, but people get really cranky, you know, when you change the Disneyland stuff. And he goes, if we can change it to put Johnny Depp on the ride, then we can take out the human trafficking. And I was like, oh my gosh, he's so like, yeah. And then so a couple years later, I got that part, and I was like, Tex, I'm part of the solution. I get to be part of, you know, fixing it. And he was so happy. So I can't wait to go on it. But yeah, so got to play a lot of good redheads. Daphne, yeah, Vicky from the front. I don't know. We're supposed to be talking about Scooby right now, so he's gonna whip me.
I'm going to send you over to the room.
Okay. Oh, that's the code for being in trouble. Get sent to the room.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Oh, fantastic. I'm exhausted. What a week. Right? You guys are probably exhausted too. Have you been here the whole time? Yeah. I feel bad saying I'm exhausted. I took the day off yesterday. I relaxed at the hotel. It was wonderful.
Just hang out.
Wonderful. Took a harbor cruise in the afternoon.
Oh, that sounds fun.
It was wonderful. It was wonderful.
Is it your first Comic-Con?
I've been coming to Comic-Con as a fan for almost 20 years, and only as a working professional for the last couple of years. And this today is my first ever. We're going to be doing a panel today. It's my first ever Comic-Con panel. Yeah, I'm so excited. It's so great. So I've never had a movie premiere at Comic-Con before, so it's really fun.
That's going to be huge when you tell your friends or your family, my movie's premiering. That's really cool.
I know, it sounds really exciting, you know. So we'll see. I don't know. Well, hopefully we'll get some kids in there today who'll enjoy it. I mean, you know, it's Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, but it's Scooby-Doo. I mean, we all grew up. I grew up with Scooby-Doo.
We all did, right? I mean, I can't believe that I get the keys to this. Well, I should say van. I was going to say keys to the car. I can't believe I get these keys and get to do this, you know, now, you know, after growing up watching Scooby-Doo, living Scooby. I mean, I feel like I was living Scooby-Doo as a kid. You know, this movie is set in New England, and I grew up in New England. And the thing about that place is that it's so steeped in history that you're surrounded all the time by ghost stories. And so I grew up like that. I always felt like I was living in Scooby-Doo when I was a kid. So now I get to do it. It's fun.
Is this the first Scooby-Doo project you've worked on?
It is the first that I've worked on. Yeah.
So how did you get pulled into it?
I was kicking around Warner Brothers. I had done some episodes of a show called Justice League Action. And I guess a funny thing happened. That, obviously, the great tradition of Scooby-Doo is, having fabulous guest stars. And I think that a genius at the studio said, who are the biggest stars around now? Let's get some celebrity chefs and let's put together, Scooby-Doo, and meeting celebrity chefs. And of course, obviously, with Shaggy and Scooby being, foodies is a good way to put it, right? They are definitely foodies. So it made a lot of sense. And I think someone said, boy, who do we know who is a Food Network junkie? And happily, someone remembered that I had been talking about how I'm obsessed with food television. And it's all I watch at home. So they called me in and they said, "What do you think about this?" I said, "Are you kidding me?" I said, "Let's do it." So it was great. Getting to live in the world of Scooby-Doo for a little while is an incredible thing. And I've gotten some more opportunities to do some more of that since, too. Yeah.
Did the decision to have Bobby Flay be like the main one, was that your decision or was that somebody else's?
I was fortunate that Bobby was already excited to do it before I even came on board. So he was already, on board. And I remember I came up with a story, and I went for a meeting with my executive at Warner's, and I said, "Well, here it is." He goes, "Well, let's get Bobby on the phone and see what he thinks. Let's get his input." I said, "Wait, we're going to call Bobby Flay?" And he's like, "Yeah." So we called him up, and I pitched him the story. It was my first time that I got to meet him was over the phone, and he could not have been more excited and more supportive. And he was, he had some ideas, and we put it all together, and I think we've made a really fun movie.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So how did you pick the second chef?
Well, I think if you watch television, you know that Bobby Flay and Giada De Laurentiis are like peanut butter and jelly. They're pals. They host a lot of shows together. You always see them hanging around with each other. And we said, this is in order to have a really fun chemistry between our stars. What better way to do that than to get people who we know already have that terrific chemistry? And Giada is a huge star, so we were very lucky that she wanted to do it as well. Now let me tell you, it was not as easy to sign Nacho Flay and Bella De Laurentiis to the film. As I'm sure you know because you follow Nacho on Instagram and Twitter, is Bobby Flay's cat, who does make an appearance in the film, is one of the stars of the film, and Bella De Laurentiis, Giada's cat, is also part of the film. Yeah, but they had a lot of demands. It was tough, to get them to say yes, but once we did, we knew we had a movie.
That's hilarious. I can't wait to see it. So how did you come up with the story?
Well, like I said, I grew up in New England, and so I said, I grew up on Scooby-Doo, Where Are You? And fabulous guest stars and a fun mystery, and in New England, like I said, it's steeped in historical ghost story type of stuff, and I said I really want to do something like that. I think let's do a ghost story, but let's have some history, some real history, behind it, and so that's kind of what we came up with, and it's obviously it's got a huge sort of food component to it as well. There is I don't know what I can say about it. But there is
They're premiering it right after this, right?
yeah. So I think I can say that there's a there's a long line of chefs in the Flay family, and we'll meet a couple of those along the way in this story. And
So is the red ghost related, perchance?
I know you want me to tell you that, but as we have not shown the film yet, I will not tell you anything about the red ghost. But I think if you know Scooby-Doo, and I know you do, you know that there will be some surprises. You know, you may think you know where this is going. It may take a turn. We'll see. The gang, Mystery Inc., the gang, they always get their man. So.
That's true.
Yeah.
Has there been a Scooby-Doo where they actually don't get them?
Oh, that's a great question, and I will. Oh, you know, I don't think I can say.
Okay.
And here's why: because there are more things coming in the Scooby-Doo universe, and one of those things does relate to that question, and that's all I'll say.
Okay, now I'm very intrigued.
Are you working on any of the Scooby projects then?
Yeah, as a matter of fact, yeah, a couple of them. So.
How is that? So were you really nervous going into Scooby-Doo because it is such a type, people are, it's a timeless thing.
You know what? Let me be completely honest with you. I should have been totally terrified, just totally terrified. But what overrode all of that was the excitement. I was so excited to get to live with that Shaggy dialogue and those great, I mean, all of them. I mean, Daphne and Fred and Velma especially too. Like, I just really was excited to sort of come at the problem from her perspective. So I think the excitement overrode any of the nerves that I had in the beginning. Now I think I still get a little nervous because it is a big thing. It's a big responsibility. But happily, I think once you start with those voices in your head, and there's such a backlog of all of the many years of Scooby-Doo and all the great Scooby we've gotten, I think it works out okay.
Was there any particular genre or series of Scooby-Doo that you focused on mostly? Because I know you said you grew up on Scooby-Doo.
I mean, I grew up on Where Are You, and for me, and that was kind of the idea with this movie, was let's return to that form, and where we've got our central mystery, but we got some fabulous guest stars, and we'll sort of tie them all together. And but I mean, it's a movie, so we kind of expand that just a little bit.
Besides Bobby and Giada, was there any other guest star in the past that was your favorite?
Well, first of all, I should also mention that you'll see Marcus Samuelsson, who's another great chef, who's going to be make an appearance in the film as well, which I was so excited because I'm a huge Chopped fan. So I was like, oh my gosh, Marcus Samuelsson.
It's so cute because you're so into meeting the chefs and working with
Oh
them.
yeah, and they were terrific. They were terrific. I couldn't, and I should have known, because these guys are not just world-class chefs. They are television stars. They know how to hit their marks, and so they just blew everybody away.
So how do you work with people who already have an established presence, and you have to write the script and use a voice that's going to match them and fit them? Is it just because you know them well, you've watched them on TV, so you kind of know how they would come across? Or how do you...
I think that was why I got the job, was because because I have watched these guys on TV, and I could sort of figure out their voices, but you'll hear Giada say, she was surprised that she could do all of these amazing things that I'm having her do in the movie, and but I think it's still in character for her. I think it's still, I sort of wrote these characters, these chefs, the way that I see them, and I think the way we all see them. They're to me, they're heroes. So it was a great, fun opportunity to get to figure out their voices, and we worked together. We figured it out together as we went through the process.
So were you in the recording, in there when you were recording?
Yeah. But I mean, mostly I just try to stay quiet and let our amazing director Doug Murphy, and Wes Gleason is our voice director, who's a very accomplished voice director and casting director. Let them do their thing, and I'm there to answer questions when somebody says, "Hey, what do you think you mean here?" That's about it.
Did they get to improv at all?
I mean, I always encourage it, but I'm never the one in charge. So, but it's funny. I had here's the biggest challenge I had. But again, for me, it wasn't too bad because I watch a lot of food TV. But having to
Doug directs things like Justice League Action and Constantine City of Demons. So you see the balance here.
I like the Constantine Scooby-Doo mashup.
Yeah, that's what we'll do.
Two
That's the
decidedly
sequel.
different ends of
Yeah.
horror. Take it away.
That's absolutely true. That's a good point.
How you doing?
I'm great. How are you?
Doing awesome. So tell us about the plot.
I'm sorry.
The plot of the movie. What part of it did you like more than anything?
Well, it was. I think the part that's fun is that it's a mashup of celebrity chefs with mostly Shaggy and Scooby, who eat all the time and are crazy, and it just seemed like a no-brainer, I guess, to finally bring those together. I thought it was fun to work with those characters and try and do a somewhat scary ghost where we could, but still have some goofy fun and some. Let me take care of that. Sorry.
Oh, no worries.
So how excited were you to work with Bobby and Bianca?
It was great. I was really thrilled, and when we went to the record and they came, they each recorded separately. All the chefs recorded separately by themselves, and so of course we had our fingers crossed. Hey, maybe they'll cater, They didn't.
That's sad.
Yeah, we were sad too. I mean, we had a spread, but it wasn't.
But nothing is
Yes,
good.
yeah, the muffins and
So what brought the idea about to do the gourmet goat?
Well, from what I understand, I wasn't in the writer's room because I'm the director, so I come in after the script is done. So, but the way we've talked about it and the way Tim has told me it came to fruition was it just somebody had the idea of bringing these celebrity chefs as co-stars because of Shaggy and Scooby and the way they are with food, and it just seemed like an obvious idea that could have happened a long time ago.
How did you get involved with the project?
I was approached by the producer, Kurt Gaeta, and he and I have worked together many times. We've started together on Batman the Animated Series as storyboard artists, and so we've known each other a long time, and he asked me to come direct on it while he produced it. So,
Was this your first Scooby-Doo movie?
no, I did storyboards on Scooby-Doo in Camp Scare and Scooby-Doo in the Fanisaur, and then I was a storyboard artist on the series Scooby-Doo Mystery Incorporated, and I directed an episode of that. And so that's where my experience with Scooby has come from.
So how do you go from doing the storyboarding, the writing, and then making a sharp left and directing? Because it takes different skill sets.
Well, to a degree it does, but there's still a lot of storyboarding is still trying to make continuity and visual continuity like a movie. And the thing about being a storyboard artist, you have your own small section that you're worried about. And as a director, you come in and you have 3 storyboard artists, or however many there are, and you come in and you try and make that all work cohesively, and you try and solve problems that come up, because there's always like, that doesn't really work, maybe we should try it this way, and what if they come in over here instead, or we hold we don't show that for a while, and things like that. So it's just a matter of, the two, storyboarding and directing go hand in hand. But there's still a lot of other decisions that have to be made, and so it's just you're trying to make sure the whole thing comes together as cohesively as you can.
That makes sense.
So that's pretty much.
So I have an ignorant question. When I think of directing, I think of someone on a set dealing with real life
Right.
people, with the movements, with the delivery.
Right.
How do you direct animation?
In animation, it's different because not with live action actors, and you're not there with a camera and saying go stand over there. But in a way, you still control, because it's drawings now. So it's a storyboard is a square that we have. It's basically the frame of the picture, and we go from shot to shot, and we decide in drawings what that shot is. Rather than setting up the camera, it's an actual just a drawing or a sketch, and you work out the continuity and the movement. The movement's always, you have to work out the movement, you have to work out the timing, and so it's similar visually, it's just a different technique to get to what you need.
Medium.
Different medium, yeah. So it's a
That's fascinating.
So then what aspect of directing do you focus on, since there's also a voice director? Do you guys overlap at all?
we do some, yeah. Well, with the voice director, we had a great casting director, Wes Gleason, and so I would sit behind Wes, and he actually dealt with the actors one-on-one mostly, but I would, if there was something, I'd be like, maybe try it this way, or let's get a little more urgency, or just in case we need it, let's have it a little louder in case there's, when we're staging it, maybe we come up with something where there's some noise going on, so we need them a little louder and stuff. So you try and anticipate all of that, and so yeah, but you do overlap with that, overlap with the designers, because you're always trying to, you have designers coming to design layouts, which is background setups and environments and things like that, and characters, and then a character designer does all that. Now, obviously, Shaggy and Scooby and the gang were designed, but we had to have Jada and Bobby designed for a cartoon. You know, don't just plug their face in there, but so it was, yeah, so we did that, and then we do what we call an animatic, which is you take the storyboard images and you put them up with the track, with the audio track, and you try and time it out and get the timing the way you want it. So hopefully it's playing as a movie, you know, and you're hitting the jokes and you're hitting the drama, and at least that's the
key.
That's what we're trying for. Whether we're successful or not is sometimes up in the air or subjective, but we always want to just tell the best story we can, the best way we can. And so that's the other thing about similarity with live action directors and animation directors, is you're still using images to advance a story. So that's the similarity. The differences, we draw it instead of...
No, it's an interesting difference. I never really thought about it. And then I was like, well, wait, because you don't have the people. You can't move them around except you do with the artist.
Yeah, you just
So you're
basically...
directing the artist.
You're directing the
and
artist.
the storyboard. And that's very cool.
So it's... No.
Have you mostly worked in animation?
Yeah. I started as a storyboard artist on Batman the Animated Series, then went to Gargoyles, and then directed. My first series was a show called Disney's Mighty Ducks, and then I've gone back and forth directing to storyboarding my whole career. So,
Do you have a dream project?
well, Scooby's been pretty much a dream project so far. I also worked on Justice League Action, which I loved. Working on that was really fun, and part of it is the same reason. You could put the characters in real jeopardy, have real action, and then go to some comedic fun as well. So it's like nice to switch it up a little bit. So yeah.
So what was the best that you saw?
Ooh, wow, that's a great question. Well, I gotta say, it's weird, but when Jada was making that pizza, I got hungry. So that was probably, and the little thing that the Samuelssons were working on, I don't know what they...
Amuse good?
Yeah, that's it.
I'm a foodie.
That's good, because I'm going, I know it's something, I remember...
I am the live version of Shaggy and Scooby. Except no Scooby snacks.
When we got in the script, I was like, I don't know what that is, you know? How do I board that, you know? So.
Is there room for them to, because I know that it's pretty, everything is kind of set up, but when they go into improv, how does that work on the other side? Like, actors like, oh, can I throw this line in here? Do they run that by you first, or do they just kind of do it in the studio and then you kind of work around?
I think, in my experience, is you usually try and get it as scripted, so you have it, and then you say, hey, let's play a little bit. So and they'll say, I got an idea, let me try this. All right. because it's just recording, So it's, I mean, you do have a block of time that you have to finish your record in. So sometimes it's weighed by, okay, well, are we up against it in our 3 hours? How much do we have? So you do that. But a lot of times, you can you let them play a little bit. And sometimes it gets a little carried away if there's the group and they start riffing off each other and you're rolling on the floor laughing, but it's like, oh, we still got work to do, guys. So you have to pull them back. But 9 times out of 10, you want to let it go because it's just funny. And I've had it with where an actor will bring something to the character that's just you don't expect, especially on Justice League Action, for example. There was a show with Firestorm that was a pretty good script, and I liked it, but I was like, okay, so we got in there, and 2 minutes in, the the guy who played Firestorm, was so awesome. I was like, this is gonna be great, because he was so funny, and he just had such an energy, and it was just like, this is gonna be awesome, So, so there's that, where sometimes somebody will bring something to the character that's just unexpected and surprising, and I think you embrace it. You just go, yes, give me more of that.
Since Mommy and Giada haven't ever done anything voice acting wise, was there any hesitation on their parts to just come in and do their voices, or was it just was it natural for them?
As far as I know, they didn't seem to hesitate. I mean, there was scheduling issues. The way I remember it is there was always some scheduling issues. It was hard to find the time for them because they're very busy. And I was actually very surprised how natural they were. They were pretty solid, and it was just kind of go, oh, that's pretty good, That's always better than
Yeah.
Let's try that again.
Well, I hear it's really tough to go to that medium when you're not used to just doing voice, because we speak so much with our bodies.
Yeah.
But to have the ability to translate that into just a voice is an art in itself.
Oh, they're gifted. They're all hugely gifted. And sometimes when we're doing the animatic process, we do what we call scratch recording, where you don't have the actor, but you need the line to see how the timing might play out. So one of us will do the record. So yeah, it's a lot harder than you think.
Oh, I can imagine. I do a lot of interviews for animation, and they all blow me away, especially when they start doing the voices as well.